Where do you think we would be with Chris Cornell today if he hadn't passed away? Does he go back to Soundgarden? Does he
Yeah,
continue solo? I mean, he was off in a different place when he passed.
yeah. I think I don't want to speak out of turn as far
Sure.
as the personal stuff of what was going on.
Hmm.
What I could have hoped for, is you get Soundgarden, you get more solos. He was intertwining it. He was doing Soundgarden. He was doing solo stuff. He released Higher Truth, which is the
Hmm.
record Dead Wishes is on in
Right.
2015.
Hmm.
Right. So you were kind of getting an intertwined Chris.
Sure.
Um, I love his solo material. I
Me
do.
too.
So I like to think there is a Soundgarden record with Chris vocals coming.
Oh, that'd be so good.
It's I've read that in the press. They're working on it. Who, what, where, and when, I don't know. But so Chris's head was still very much into Soundgarden as it was into his solo stuff. I just think that as a musician and a songwriter, Chris wrote a lot of things that didn't fit the Soundgarden spectrum,
Sure. Hmm.
which he wanted to do and pursue, which you can't blame anyone for wanting to do that.
No, no. It's really amazing too when you look at it, the level of talent from that specific time period that we lost. When, that we've lost already, obviously Cornell, but certainly Weiland, certainly Chester, Chester from Lincoln Park. I mean, it's really, I mean, that what I know now we're all getting old and we still think of it as new music, but it is old music at this
Uh,
point. But it's still not, it's not the Beatles. And Paul McCartney's still out there touring, for God's sakes. I feel like we fans of that era, we really got cheated a little bit by mortality, I'll say. I don't want to say by
I
habits or
mean,
whatever, but
you think about it, man. Look at the 90s. You lost a singer from Alice in Chains. You lost a
yeah,
singer of Mother Love Bone. You lost a singer of, let's see,
Screaming Trees,
Screaming Trees. Yeah, Mark. I mean, obviously Chris with Soundgarden, Kurt with
Weiland.
Nirvana. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just like Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what would music be like if they were all still around? It would be awesome. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. Um,
Probably be a lot
but
less stale than it is now, that's for sure.
well, the 90s, if you think about it, with all those singers passing, think about the late 60s with Jimmy and Janis,
Mm-hmm.
Jim Morrison, and
Yeah,
Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones, and a lot of people passed in that little era as
sure.
well. Imagine they were around in the 70s and
Mm-hmm.
80s. Just like imagine these guys were around, it's the music world, the musician world is not for the faint of heart. It's deep, man, and
Yeah.
I wish people would understand what
Yeah.
musicians go through. Everyone just thinks it's rock stars, cars,
Sure.
sex, drugs, and rock and
Right.
roll, and live forever.
Mm,
And it's
every everybody thinks they're going to be Mick Jagger. That's really what it is. Everybody gets in thinking they're going to be Mick Jagger with $1 zillion and all the women and all the drugs, and none of it affects you. And and meanwhile, what it really is there's one Mick Jagger for every about 100,000 musicians,
yeah,
and it's really what it is. The rest are just workers.
I know, man, and it's sad if you think about it, especially with Alice in Chains, and
Oh,
see how to see what they went through with Wayne, and then to bounce back with William, and
hmm,
he gave them new life. I'm not sure what Soundgarden's going to do. STP has new life now. Alice has new life.
hmm.
Who knows what Soundgarden's going to do?
Lincoln Park was number one a year ago.
Lincoln Park, new life.
Hmm.
It's you don't know what's going to happen. AC/DC was able to do it when Bon Scott passed into
Right.
Brian Johnson.
Van Halen. I
Van
mean,
Halen,
obviously didn't pass, but
they
you
they
know,
had bigger hits. They had more
yeah,
pop hits with Sammy than Dave, which is
yeah,
crazy to think about. But so is it possible? Yes. Is it going to work? We don't know.
we'll see.
But
Yeah.
I know one thing. After working with those Soundgarden dudes, I could tell you this: it ain't going to be shit.